We're gonna UVTV, motherfucker. I'm at a kick spiritual ass and do this for my people. On God. Neon nigga for Featherman, yeah. And today I'm gonna be talking about lust is an offspring of love and understanding unbridled sexual desire and directing it when it's unfocused. Cause just in general, right? Lust is just an offspring of love. So it's like a variety or like a type or like a flavor. It's a certain characteristic. And the character will be love in general. So when it comes to lust, it's a type of love. It's just the way that love is being filtered. It's just the way that love is being directed at that moment and stuff like that. And then we already know lust comes off real unbridled or unhinged or not put into a cage or not focused and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like a shallowness there. It's not something that's deeply rooted. So from it not being deeply rooted and it's kind of being based upon instant gratification or low hanging fruit, if you will. If I want to turn that into a terminology and stuff like that, it's not to say that lust is necessarily good or bad. Like in that world, in the spiritual world, there's no such thing as a good and bad. It's just it is what it is. So from being in that energy signature and in that state of being, when it comes to lust, I'm just explaining in general where that thing being in existence, when it comes to that state of being, when it comes to being in that space, when it comes to creating and producing that type of energy, if you will, if you wanted to make it make sense, right? I'm just explaining the essence and the substance, the subconscious stance of where that derives and where that comes from into it turns into the shape and form of how we look at it in reality and why we look at it like that. But I'm just explaining, you know what I'm saying, the overall natures, the natural natures of where it comes from organically from when those seeds got planted of people playing out that state of being or playing out those characteristics and the differences of how it looks like when it comes to spiritually what be going on compared to what's going on physically or how people can utilize it for degenerate things or how in general you can utilize that for high hanging fruit or higher desires, if you will. So just in general, right? Lust is just an intense or unbridled slash unconfined sexual nature. Now, from it being intense, it's intention. So when something is intention, it's something that's contracting or condensing or something that's tight. It's like in a container and stuff like that. And from it being intense and intentions, you can either express it or you could hold on to it. So that's kind of like Aries and Scorpio energy. That's really a different video because they both Mars signs and stuff like that, right? Like ruled by Mars, but it's in different areas. One is more above the horizon and one is more below the horizon. So air's gonna come off intense, but they like to express it. They like to not hold on to it. They like to externalize it. And in Scorpios, that's why they come off so grudge beholding and stuff like that and be petty or do some hidden, unknown, unfamiliar type of things. Or you don't even know that's how they felt when it comes to their hidden animosity or their alternative motives and stuff like that when it comes to intensity. So they like to hold on and retain that type of energy. So from them holding on from the man, that's a really different video. But like in general, right? Lust is just an intense or unbridled, unconfined sexual desire. So it's just the intensity itself. So based upon that intensity, that tension that they're in, you can either hold on to that or you could just express it. Now, more often than not, especially considering it's like if this was like a fucking religion or something like that, lust is just in the denomination of what love is. When it comes to lust, a lot of people like to hold on to it and stuff like that. But considering it's so unbridled and unhinged and uncaged and stuff like that, right? Or motherfuckers not concentrating on it or checking that shit at the door and stuff like that. That's how motherfuckers end up sending dick pics and all that type shit on you know what I'm saying? Like, what's that word? I was about to say unannounced, but fucking, like they do it like when it wasn't even asked for. It's like unexpected for the most part. It'd be like super unexpected and like out of nowhere and stuff like that. So it's you not understanding how to control your lower degenerate natures and stuff like that of doing it in a more relatable or consensual type of way and stuff like that. But just in general, not to get off topic, right? Lust is just intense or unbridled, unconfined sexual desire. Now, sexual desire. Now, I'm gonna focus on sex right now. So, sex, we have sex in the mind, right? Because it's a reproductive organ, and then based upon someone sex and stuff like that, motherfuckers start talking about, oh, is just a male or a female, someone's gender, based upon their reproductive organs and stuff like that. So a man got a dick and balls, and then a woman, she got a pussy, she got a womb, she got a twat. So from her having a womb, it's more feminine type of energies and stuff like that. So I'm gonna make it distinct because I don't want y'all to get lost between male and female when I'm just talking about masculine and feminine energies. Look at masculine energies or man, right? Not like an actual human and stuff like that, like the man-like energy or being like a man and stuff like that. It's just derived from the masculine energy. So look at masculine energy like you providing something, or you giving something out, or you producing something, or a thought and idea, or intelligence based upon the left brain. So like logic and like rationality and making sense out of something, and femininity and stuff like that, right? Is based upon retaining something or receiving something. So it's going in something. You're taking something, or you're you know what I'm saying? You're on the receiving back end. So it's the more supportive type of energy. So masculine energy is kind of like how you look at the father, right? The father is gonna be the farthest direction, like how I did get erect and stuff like that. Is you directing the energy. So it's based upon how it's being directed or what's being constructed or what's being built. And then motherly energy is like nurturing and caring type of energy and stuff like that, right? So you're trying to nurture and care for what's ever being built from what's being provided. So the masculine and the feminine, it's just a mechanism in general. Expansion would be like masculine energy, and then contraction or condensing or closing in on something, that tension is like a feminine type of energy for the most part. So we have to look at these things like your thoughts, ideas, feelings, and emotions, right? We have sex within the mind. So from us having sex within the mind, we're just trying to take polar opposite energies, masculine and feminine, and we're trying to produce another energy out of it. So the same way how a man and a female, they have sex and then a baby get born, turning nothing into something, and it becomes a whole different entity in itself. It becomes a child being born, right? So you have to look at your thoughts, ideas, feelings, and emotions and the metaphysics of your mind and your psyche like your own children. So this is why it's important to protect the children. Protect your imagination, protect your visions, protect your dreams, protect your thoughts, ideas, feelings, and emotions and stuff like that. The masculine energy is what you're projecting, and then the feminine energy is what you self-reflecting. You get it? So expression and receiving in general. Now, like I was saying before, it's a sexual desire. So a desire is having a descending urge. See, in general, right? When it comes to desire, it's gonna have that D word. So that's like deifying or descending or it going through a death. If something is going through a death, it's like a mechanism. It's like a transition, like birth, life, and death, just in general, right? So if you're going through a death, you're going through a transformation. So it's starting to deteriorate. It's starting to decay. It's starting to expire. It's starting to, you know what I'm saying? You're only experiencing it for a certain point in time. So it's temporary. So that's like a desire. A desire is something that's temporary. Now you can do it for a higher desire or do it for a lower desire. I'm going to explain that later. But that's like you being tempted based upon higher natures or lower natures. And don't get lost between high and low. I'm just using that as like an example so I can make things make sense. When the whole thing, like, you know what I'm saying? The whole thing is a process in itself. Look at like your higher natures is like you trying to plant a seed for something being born. And then your lower natures is when it becomes more mature and it starts to get old and it's starting to die out and stuff like that. So higher would be like youthful type of energy. And then lower would be like old man type of energy, old woman, grandma, grandpa type of energy and stuff like that. So they're elderly, so they're starting to get old and weary and starting to deteriorate and stuff like that, and they starting to get fucking dementia and starting to forget everything compared to when they was a kid or when they a teenager or when they're adult. They gonna remember every goddamn thing, and they always gonna hold you accountable like a fucking a strict ass parent or some shit like that. You get what I'm saying? So this in general, a desire is having a descending urge, longing, craving, enthusiasm, eagerness, wish, or passion, just in general, right? When it comes to your desires. And that kind of coincides a lot with lust, because lust is also longing or craving or having a wishful thinking type of format when it comes to trying to desire after something. You know what I'm saying? Trying to attract some type of energy towards you. So in a sense, it's the same way how motherfuckers sit there and be like, they're lusting after life and stuff like that. So it's beyond how y'all look at, because I know y'all be looking at lust, like how y'all look at lust when it comes to what's going on in the physical. When lust just in general is just a state of being, and lust is just an offspring of what love is. So you can lust after certain thoughts. You can lust after certain desires. You can lust for life and stuff like that. A lot of people be like, "Oh yeah, I'm lusting for life." You can lust after death and stuff like that. You're longing for death. You're wishful towards death. You desire dying. You desiring life, things being lively, things being sentient, things being playful, things being expressive and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You can lust after a certain dream. You can lust after a certain feeling or emotion and stuff like that, whether that be happy, sad, disgusted, anger. You know what I'm saying? Lusting in general is, you know what I'm saying, that natural state of being. That's really what you're doing. You're lusting after something, and it's just unconfined, and it's just unbridled when it comes to that sexual desire. And like I was saying earlier and stuff like that, not just like physical sex. Now in the physical, when a motherfucker be super hedonistic and be super lustful, people looking at it like, oh, this person doesn't love me, they're just lusting after me. No, they do love you, they're just showing it through the filter of lust. You get it? You know what I'm saying? So look at lust like unconfined love. So it's like them being shallow with their love. It's like them not trying to find the deep passion and motivation to why they love you, so they rather lust after you. You know what I'm saying? So from them lusting after you, it's like a craving or a itching. You know what I'm saying? It's like a urge, but you're not trying to understand why you have that urge. You're just urging. So you're just longing after something. But if it's something long as fuck, like a big ass dick, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it's something long, it's something far, it's something distant. So it's like you trying to be it's like sodding after a dream, or yeah, it's like sodding after a dream that you can't reach. It's always going to be out of your reach, and every time you try to reach out for it, it gets further and further and further. So you're longing after something, so you wish something would happen, but you're not trying to put in the work or put in something in moderation when it comes to practicing it. So you being a practitioner of some type of discipline or practice to make that wishful thing stop being like a, you know what I'm saying, like you kissing the wind, or making a wish upon a star or some shit like that. No, motherfucker, I'm gonna be the example and be the star and make that shit happen. You get what I'm saying? So when you're lusting after something, you're gonna have that strong drive or pleasure or temptation, and you having a big sexual appetite and stuff like that. So from you having a big sexual appetite, look at that as you having a lot of, it's like you having a big mentality and stuff like that. And then us as spirits, and your spirit is no shape and form. It's just the space that you in. It's just what you're created and cultivating for yourself based upon the essence. And the essence is just a particular eternal scent. So it's like a scent in the spiritual realm and stuff like that. A type of cologne or perfume, or like a fragrance, or like a fragrance. So it's a certain stench, and it's based upon the substance. A substance is just your subconscious stance. What are you subconsciously standing on, just in general, right? And the spirit likes to, you know what I'm saying? Your individual spirit is just your soul. So what resonates with your space? What resonates with how you observe? What resonates with how you create and what you're trying to produce for yourself? And then the spirit likes to emanate. So from it, liking to emanate, it likes to create shapes and forms and putting things in formation, like that Beyonce song. So when they put things, when you know what I'm saying, like when spirits put things in formation, is going to create your light body, your first body. So your first body, or the light body, is just the mentality, how much something means to you based upon thoughts, ideas, feelings, and emotions. And then you make that brightened up, you make that sentient, and then it starts to turn into your physical actions and what matters to you and stuff like that. So it's going to turn into those thoughts, ideas, feelings, and emotions, and it's going to turn into a certain organ or a certain blood flow, life force, adrenaline, to make you have that physical action towards that thing. So that's like how you became materialized into the flesh. And then based upon us being in our second body, the flesh, we have devices. So the external tools and technology that come from the flesh to make things more easy and convenient, so we can play out characteristics in reality when it comes to what's going on physically, and make it so we can play out our imagination. So we can play out our thoughts, ideas, feelings, and emotion. We can play out that vision. We can play out that dream or imagination in general. That's an imagination like 3 times. So like I was saying before, if you have a big appetite, that's like you having a big mentality, and your spirit likes to feed. It likes to eat. You know what I'm saying? Your ass just can't feed the beast. So look at that as you feeding into some degenerate shit, or you feeding, or you know what I'm saying? Like you have a constant need to feed. So you have a constant thirst or a constant hunger and stuff like that. Your ass being too thirsty and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you went for that shit too quick. You was itching too much. You know what I'm saying? But like you feeding the beast is like you feeding into your barbaric lower natures and stuff like that, right? So you need to learn how to relax, because you could be feeding too much, and that's like a greedy motherfucker. That's like a pig mentality type motherfucker and stuff like that. So you're eating too much. You're taking on too much information. You're taking on too much light, and too much light can blind you just in general. So it's like a blind leading the blind and stuff like that. So you're taking on too many different mentalities, and you end up being all over the place, and then you losing all type of clarity type of judgments, and your whole judgment is clouded because you got too much shit going on. You all over the goddamn place. You don't know if you coming or going. Your spirit about to crash the fuck out and fucking evaporate because you got too much shit going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, but in general, right? If you have a big appetite, it's just eating a lot to be fulfilled, right? Because spirit like to our spirit like to eat things. So it like to eat and emanate. So from it eating, it likes to feed. So it likes to feed on thoughts, ideas, feelings, and emotions. So things that are just you know what I'm saying? Like things that are just information, and it likes to feed on those things just in general. It likes to gain more knowledge. It likes to gain more wisdom. It likes to gain more information so it can keep on emanating. And it's like a shitting out system. You know what I'm saying? Like it's always trying to gain something, and is always trying to shit something out, just in general. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's always gaining and replenishing, like gaining and exiting and replenishing. So it's kind of like a release system. That's really the word I was trying to say. I kept on saying shitting something out, but gaining or releasing something. So it's the same way how when you eat a lot of fucking food and stuff like that, right? You need to release. You need to fucking shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing that your spirit is doing. It likes to gain all that information, and it likes to emanate. And then when it starts to feed too much, based upon it trying to fulfill spaces, and it being because your spirit is no shape and form. So it's like it like the correct shapes and forms. So it likes to be fulfilled in something. Keyword in. So the same way how I was saying intense or intuition or something like that, it likes to be in something, or like insight. It likes to be in something. It likes to create a container, right? But when, you know what I'm saying, once that container gets fulfilled, in general, is going to start to overflow. So at that point, you need to release. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to shit, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to get all that shit out for the most part. And the more you keep on feeding, but you don't release it or let it go, or let that shit come out and stuff like that, that is adds back into, like, what I was saying earlier with the whole lustful energy and stuff like that, right? It's going to end up overflowing and ends up going all over the goddamn place. You end up shitting all over the fucking, you know what I'm saying? You end up shitting all over the place. It's like fucking diarrhea, and you're trying to get to the toilet, but you can't get to the toilet in time, and you end up shit on yourself. Basically, like, it's dead ass like that though. Like, I'm using it as like an allegory, but y'all get what the fuck I'm trying to say. But just in general, right? Based upon that mechanism, it creates healthy vigor or productivity for being proactive in something. So look at that as if you aren't at least lusting after something, then you don't like it like that. So it's like how I was saying before, how it's an offspring of love. When you're lusting after something, it's still love. It's just the way you're filtering it. You just have it being filtered in such a clouded judgment, just in general and stuff like that. And again, I'm not trying to make lusting in general or lust. I'm not trying to make y'all look at it as, oh, someone who's being lustful, that just means it's bad or something like that. No, it's just like wishful thinking for the most part. Oh, they're trying to obtain something and they're longing for something, they're craving something, but it just hasn't happened yet. So it's like manifesting, materializing. They're trying to manifest it, but it hasn't materialized yet. But you know what I'm saying? You wish that thing would happen and stuff like that. But when you put yourself more in that energy, you're always going to be trying to find, you're always going to try to find something. So you're always being in search. But if you're always in search, you're always going to be lost. You're never going to find that shit. You have to already be found. So you kind of have to be content and satisfied with what you already have. And then the minute you actually content and satisfied with what you already got, bro, like the minute you stop giving a fuck about it, that's immediately when it actually happens. Because you actually taking more power and control over the situation, and you ain't trying to lose yourself into the energy of expectation for the most part. So it's the epitome of working from the ground up, or working based upon the bare minimum. Oh, you're just working with what you have. And in a minute, you're just content with that, even though you don't got the same devices, or you're in the same circumstance, or you don't got enough experience or circumstance as somebody else. Just from you just going based upon your natural natures and working with what you got and stuff like that, it automatically puts you in that situation because you're not worrying about it as much and stuff like that. So it actually puts you in a situation to where you can actually gain more at the situation once you actually start to be at peace with that or being content with that. So, right, it's actually a good thing in this context when it comes to being lustful, because it creates healthy productivity or being proactive in something. Because if you ain't at least lusting after something, it means you don't really like it like that. So you just have to figure out, why are you lusting after it? Why are you longing for it and stuff like that? Because that's the thing that's going to give it life and give it sentience and stuff like that, and keeping your heart pumping. So it's like I was saying before with the whole planting the seeds concept and stuff like that, right? You start being more fertile. So it's like when your seeds start to be really abundant. You know what I'm saying? It start to accumulate at abundantly, or at a rapid weight and stuff like that. So look at those different seeds that you planting and stuff like that in your esoteric garden and Eden and stuff like that. Like you taking care of your children, like I was saying before. So from you taking care of your children, right, is gonna make your kids grow up in a real mature, ready for the world manner. So it's gonna turn into high hanging fruit for the most part. They're gonna have you know what I'm saying? Like your son or your daughter, your thought, idea, feeling, or emotion is gonna actually accumulate into something really valuable, something really abundant. The way you actually try to raise up that seed, raise up that kid, and it's gonna produce fruitful type of fruit instead of low hanging fruit. The lustful type of energy will kind of be like when you start feeding into it too much. That's like low hanging fruit. So it's like instant gratification. But once you understand the love, value, and appreciation behind that lust, it starts to turn that into high hanging fruit. So that's why I said before, right? Being real lustful, it can produce into something that's healthy or productive and stuff like that. You just need to understand why you're lusting after it in the first place. And you start to understand why you love, value, and appreciate it in the first place. And you're going to have a lot of deep passion and intensity for it, for the most part. So it's going to make those things really lively or really creative and stuff like that. And in general, right, when it comes to the lustful type of energy and being in that state of being, right, it's like when a motherfucker sit there and they be like, okay, they're in heat. Okay, what that mean? That's like fiery, like a fire sign. So it's hot, it's in high temperament, it's spicy, it's enticing. So if you're in heat, it's humid. When things be going on in the atmosphere and stuff like that, when it's like real damp or real humid outside and stuff like that, right? It like things feel real congested. From it being congested, it's like mucus in your throat and stuff like that. So it's real, you know what I'm saying? Like stuck together. It's real close. It's real stuck together and stuff like that, right? So like a person who start acting really lustful and stuff like that, that's the first thing a motherfucker gonna say based upon you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people be saying that and they don't be spiritual, but it will come up with sayings about certain things, but that's what it's talking about. Like it's like you understand the essence, the substance of where that's coming from. So a lustful motherfucker, they'll be like, oh, you're in heat. Yeah, they're in heat. It's hot, it's spicy, it's enticing, it's attractive, it's charming, it's alluring and stuff like that. So it's like an estrogen in the atmosphere and stuff like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a lustful motherfucker is real humid in general. They're in heat. Now that heat, if they're in it too much, can be suffocating, or they can learn how to alleviate that heat and direct that energy to make it more evened out for the most part. You know what I'm saying? So look at that as you accepting your instincts and your natural natures, and you understand where it's coming from. And that's the thing that's going to make it empowering of you taking your power back. Because once you understand how to, because being lustful is being pleasing. So once you learn how to please the spirit, right, you be lustful after spiritual type of things. So your creative abilities, or producing something, or understanding your esoteric substance in the essence, or aka the certain perfume or stench of why you're producing it in the first place. And then once you lust after spiritual type of things or creative type of things for the most part, right, it's going to lead to you lusting after things of the mind, right? So it's going to make you more fertile in the mind. So it's going to make you come up with a lot of big appetite, a lot of big ass ideas and stuff like that, a lot of big outlooks and worldviews and viewpoints and stuff like that. When it comes to, or you can be in a big ass feeling or a big ass emotion and stuff like that. And it starts to turn into your actions of you doing some big lustful ass things and stuff like that. So from you doing those big lustful type things, right, it's those sexual desires. So you like to have sex within the mind first. So once you understand in general, when it comes to that dopamine, that dopamine is just dope or esoteric crack or substance, right? You understand how you operate and function, and you start to understand your higher and your lower desires and stuff like that. Like I was saying before, your higher desires will be something like birth and sentience and something being born and giving life to something. And then your lower desires will be like death or like expiration and stuff like that. So the higher nature when it comes to lust and stuff like that, or like the more broad nature of lust and stuff like that, is giving birth and giving life to something, right? So having that having that fiery passion and desire, and you actually acting it out through your actions and stuff like that until it starts to get manifested and materialized. And then you focusing on negative type of lust or things that don't go in your favor, or like bad type of lust, that'll be like going through like a descending feeling or like a death or a downfall or like an expiration and stuff like that. So you're going for the instant gratification instead of trying to long for something just in general. You know what I'm saying? Like you see how I flip that shit? Because lusting something in general, oh, you're longing for something just in general. So like that's where it comes from. It's just once you add that emotional connection towards it, once you add that meaning and reasoning behind why you're lusting, you start to understand the love portion, so you can end up having a lot of love behind why you're lusting after it in the first place. You get what I'm saying? So just to really sum it up, too much lust is just being lost or blinded by, or like having too much lust is like you feeding or you being too greedy and stuff like that. So it's being lost or you being blinded, or you're distorting reality. So it's you getting lost into the twilight zone. You're getting lost into an illusion, and it's gonna create that clouded judgment. And lust without strong foundation or emotional connection equals shallow foundations and instability, because you're not trying to know why you are lusting after it in the first place, which leads to actual genuine sincere love, value, and appreciation for it. So right, like once you actually start to understand why you're lusting after it in the first place, right, you start to understand, oh, they really love this thing. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna feel that shit in your soul type shit, like, oh, they really love this thing just in general. So like lust will kind of be like the surface level version. So when you start talking about your passions and your motivations and you know what I'm saying, like your dreams that you want to accomplish and your goals and stuff like that, right? When you're talking to, especially when you're talking to a stranger, it's gonna be real surface level. So they're really just getting the lust energy from you. You're getting the surface level version of why you love and appreciate that thing. They're really getting the lust energy of why you have that desire or why you have that aspiration and stuff like that. But once you start to go in depth about it and you actually start going like really deep, you're starting to get the love portion of, oh, this motherfucker really feel that shit in their soul. It really resonate with their spirit of why they love, value, and appreciate that thing. That's why lust is just an offspring of what love is. It's just the way it's filtered. It's just when you get too lost into the lust and stuff like that, right? It's like you getting too lost into instant gratification. You getting too lost into a certain expectation, a certain desire, a certain characteristic. So it's the same way how I be saying how things that be as above, so below and stuff like that. So the above or the broad aspect, right, of understanding your internal natures, right, is kind of like the love, and then the below aspect or the you know what I'm saying, kind of like the below aspect, the after effect aspect and stuff like that. When it actually gets manifested and materialized, the surface level version that's not that broad will kind of be like the lust aspect. So just in general, right, the whole thing is like it's like a as above, so below, as within, so without, for the most part. It's like that type of concept. It's like a mechanism, and it's just different filtering systems to understand why you actually doing that in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So once you actually understand why you love, value, appreciate, well, when it comes to lust, right? Once you actually start to love, value, appreciate something for real, because you already lusting after it. So you already do like it. You just probably don't know why you do. So, like, lust in general is just when it's real unfocused, when it's not, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of like a certain vision, but it lacks direction. You know what I'm saying? Like, it lacks discipline, it lacks practice in general. You're not learning how to have a better ability for it. So it's like a waste of talent. You know what I'm saying? It's like you giving your power away. You're not trying to understand your power and stuff like that. So again, in general, right? I'm not trying to say like lust is necessarily bad, but you can see how that plays out in reality when we be looking at really lustful type motherfuckers for the most part, where they're too much in sin, a desire that they're in and stuff like that. They're too much in a certain expectation, and they can't see themselves outside of that specific characteristics and stuff like that. They can't see themselves outside of that love. They can't see themselves outside of that validation. They can't see how it looks like outside of that lust and stuff like that. So they can't see it beyond beyond wherever the fuck they're focusing on for the most part. So the minute you know how to make it more masculine or make it more broad or make it more you know what I'm saying? You start understanding the overall aspect. Once you start to make it more expansive and you start to expand on that, aka look at that as the love concept, right? When it actually condenses and you sow that lustful nature is going to come off way more positive, or it's going to come off way more relatable, and it's not going to come off degenerate. It's not going to come off like, you know what I'm saying, as like evil or like sinful or like wicked or like vicious and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it don't come off as unhinged. So I'm trying to explain the state of being that in general when it comes to love and lust for the most part. And then motherfuckers sit there and be like, hold on. So like when motherfuckers sit there and be like, oh, this motherfucker is just lusting after me, they don't love me. No, they do love you. It's just the way they're going about that love is filtered in a way when it comes to lust, and it's just untamed. It's just you know what I'm saying? It's just unhinged. It's just has a lack of vision. It has a lack of focus for the most part when it comes to that type of lust. So I'm explaining the state of being of where that energy signature and that natural substance in essence be coming from, and how it just gets filtered in the physical reality and stuff like that when it comes to people putting out that type of energy. And I'm explaining how when it's unfocused and things of that nature, right? You can gain actual wisdom from that awareness, because a lot of motherfuckers, when it comes to their lustful natures, they're aware about it. When it comes to, you know what I'm saying, their charm, when it comes to feminine energy and stuff like that. So like being attractive, but it be all over the goddamn place, right? So once they understand how to make it more focused, they can make their lustful energies come off more relatable and come off more enticing to make people actually want to be a part of whatever they're longing after on a team for like a teamwork, make the dream work type of concept for the most part. So people will actually support or actually want to build on that lustful energy and stuff like that. Shit, why you think we got porn stars? You know what I'm saying? Why you think we got porn stars and stuff like that? Why you think we got OnlyFans, content creators, all that type shit, and they get all that love, all that money, all that admiration? I'm not even trying to say it like, oh yeah, it means something because they got $1 million or they got a whole bunch of different money because they got OnlyFans and stuff like that. I'm just explaining energy signature, and y'all know what man, we never gonna hate on that shit. We ain't never gonna hate on that shit. But yeah, y'all know what the fuck I'm trying to say.